guys and girls, it's Mrs. Goodrow, and I'm going to read chapter 11 from my home this evening because I ran out of time at school. So here's chapter 11. The shower stall. After Borden left the Riverside field for school, Leon and Barty settled into their daily routine. Leon fished and Barty slept from 9 a.m. to noon. They came home and ate their respective lunches of canned soup and mice. They then watched TV. Around 2 p.m. they drove along the Trinity River. Leon would park, get out, and cast a line from time to time as he looked for the half-pounders of his youth. Barty followed him along the riverbank, jumping on moving leaves and snagging bobbing flowers in his talons. Leon caught no steelheads. He looked up the treeless mountainsides. At 5 p.m., Barty and Leon turned to the house. Leon made supper for the family, and Barty owl-dozed, eyes almost shut, breast feathers touching his beak. He stood up like sea urchin spines. After dinner was Borden's time to play with Barty. He wanted to teach him to fly. It was his dream to see him take off for the mountains. He would hold on out a tantalizing bite of mouse and not let Barty eat it until he flew to his hand for it. After Barty hopped a foot along the top of the couch, then 2 feet, but when Borden got 4 feet away, he would turn his back and watch TV. On school nights, everyone was in bed by 10 p.m., and Barty was in his box. At 1 a.m., the alarm clock went off, and Leon got up. He would put Barty on the back of the living room couch and turn on the TV. Eyes wide open, head swinging, the owlet concentrated on the action on the screen like his parents concentrated on flying squirrels. He liked westerns, with their horses that galloped across the landscape. If he could have flown, he would have nailed one. The hearing was scheduled for the 3rd Tuesday in June. Borden was in the kitchen when Leon received the papers from the judge. He was surprised that his father did not give his usual tirade against the law and spotted owls, but he didn't. Borden was glad. Leon tucked the papers into the kitchen drawer and went off to shower. Borden made himself a sandwich and picked up car and driver. When he was reading, Barty spread his wings, fluttered downward, and landed softly at Borden's feet. Wings over his back, he ran across the kitchen floor and down the hallway. The bathroom door was slightly ajar, and Barty went in. The shower stopped, then went on again. Next, the bathroom door flew open. "Borden!" Leon boomed. "Come here!" Borden put down his magazine, skidded around the corner, and bolted down the hall, expecting to find a water main broken or the house on fire. He saw nothing. He's taken a shower with me!" Leon exclaimed, running out of the bathroom with a towel around his waist. "Who's taking a shower with you?" "Barty!" Leon pulled back the curtain. There in the stall stood the little owlet. He flipped his wings, stood under the spray, and splashed his breast feathers in the water. He repeated the ceremony again and again. "He loves it," said Borden. Barty looked up, saw that Leon was not with him, and fluttered to the edge of the shower stall. He tried to climb out, but he could not. He was too heavy with water. Giving up, he let go and washed toward the drain. "He's drowning!" Leon cried. "Turn off the shower!" said Borden, and did it himself. The water stopped. Barty looked up. His feathers were plastered against his body, and he was half his normal size. "Is he going to die?" said Leon. "So?" Borden said. "You're just going to wring his neck?" "I want him to live," Leon said passionately, and then added calmly, "long enough for me to make a good impression on the judge." The big, rugged cutter carefully wrapped the small, wet owl in a towel and handed him to Borden. "Take him to the kitchen," he said. "Turn on the oven. Put him on the open door and let him dry off while I get dressed. He's shivering." Borden stared at his father. He really did care about the owlet. Borden did as Leon asked. He turned on the oven and put Barty on the open door. Then he went back to his magazine. In a few minutes, Barty felt the heat and ran into the warm cave. He shook, preened, and fluffed his feathers. The metal grew hotter and hotter, and by the time Leon arrived, Barty was picking up one foot and then the other. He shifted his feet faster and faster, then abruptly ran out of the oven. He jumped on his wings and plunged toward the floor. Leon reached out and caught him. "Borden!" he snapped. "What's the matter with you? You let him burn his feet!" He put Barty on his back in his left hand and gently took first one big foot, then the other in his fingers. "Oh, he's okay," he said, with a trace of relief in his voice. "He got himself out of there in time with no thanks to you. Get Sally's hairdryer. I've got to get this little fellow warm." Borden knocked on Sally's door. Her boom box was turned on high, so he opened the door and stuck his head in. "Can I come in?" he asked. "Pop wants me to borrow your hairdryer." "Pop wants to borrow my hairdryer? What on earth for?" "Barty took a shower with him, and he wants to give him a blow-dry," he grinned. Sally picked up her hairdryer and ran out the door with Borden at her heels. "Pop!" she said excitedly. "Guess what I learned today?" "What?" "That the last thing little birds do before they fly is bathe. Barty bathed. That means he's going to fly today or tomorrow." "Fly?" Leon said. "Fly," Sally repeated. "Out over town and back to the mountain." "He can't do that until the hearing," Leon stated firmly. "Well, then you'll have to jess him," she said, turning on the dryer and letting the warm air fall gently on Barty. "Jess him?" "Put a leather strap on his leg, falconry style. They're called jesses. You put a leash on the jesses and tether the leash to the perch. He can't fly away then. I suppose you know someone who could do that." "Yes." "Well, I'm not interested." But his tone was not convincing.